For years, the West Mesa Desert held a secret in plain sight. Women disappeared. Reports were filed. Clues existed, but no one connected the dots. Between 2001 and 2005, vulnerable young women silently vanished in Albuquerque, while clear signs were ignored by those who should have investigated. In 2009, the truth emerged from the dry soil of New Mexico, too late for 11 women. This is the story of a massacre that could have been stopped, but was allowed by a fatal mistake. In 2009, the discovery of the remains of 11 women buried in the West Mesa Desert in Albuquerque, New Mexico, shocked the city and brought to light a terror that could have been avoided. For years, these women disappeared unnoticed, and the police, faced with clear signs, failed to connect the cases. Between 2001 and 2005, vulnerable young women, many involved with drugs and prostitution, silently disappeared, vanishing from the lives of their families and friends without a trace. One was pregnant, another was only 15 years old, and all carried stories that should never have ended so soon. Satellite images captured between 2003 and 2005 showed tire tracks and disturbed soil in the area where the bodies would be found years later. Evidence that could have led to the discovery before so many lives were lost. However, negligence, lack of communication between departments, and ignorance of neighbors' complaints allowed a killer to operate freely, invisible to the eyes of those who should have protected them. The perpetrator, nicknamed Bone Collector, remained free, and although several suspects emerged over time, none were officially charged. Suspicion fell on Lorenzo Montoya, a man with a history of violence against women, who lived near the crime scene and had made explicit threats. Others, like Joseph Blee, had DNA connections to victims of previous sexual assaults, but no decisive action was taken. Meanwhile, Fred Reynolds and Scott Lee Kimball emerged as possible suspects, but no concrete evidence linked them to the West Mesa murders. Each of these opportunities to solve the case was lost, and each failure allowed the killer to continue his cycle of violence. Fate brought the truth to the surface almost accidentally. In February 2009, a woman walking her dog found an exposed human bone in the ground, triggering the investigation that revealed the remains of 11 women and girls buried over the years. It was too late for many, but it revealed the pattern that the police had failed to identify from the start. The silent wasteland hid a dark secret, but it also exposed human error, the mistake that turned a solvable case into a mystery that remains to this day. The lives cut short, the families destroyed, and the feeling of injustice remain. And the story of West Mesa is a cruel reminder of how a single mistake, a negligent decision, or a missed opportunity can cost lives. 11 women disappeared, and to this day, no one has paid for those deaths, showing the cost of a fatal error, the importance of each investigation conducted with care, and how indifference in an action can change everything. This is the dark legacy of West Mesa, a story of death, silence, and human failure that echoes in the New Mexico desert, reminding us that justice only exists when each step is taken with care, attention, and humanity. 11 women were buried in the desert. 11 stories cut short. 11 chances to act that were wasted. The West Mesa killer was never held accountable, not for lack of suspects, but for repeated failures, non-existent communication, and a dangerous indifference towards victims considered invisible. This case is not just about an unknown serial killer. It's about the human cost of negligence. Because when clues are ignored and warnings are silenced, violence finds room to grow. The West Mesa Desert didn't just hide by, it revealed the price of a fatal mistake.